One thing worth getting your head around is the different blending modes in Premiere, After Effects, and Photoshop. You can use them for all sorts of different creative techniques, but if you take our situation, a lot of our work is run and gun with an amazingly fast turnaround. Often it's news items and we're filming in the morning and we're outputting in the afternoon. So I want the footage to look as dramatic or as interesting as possible with the shortest possible edit time. So we don't often have a lot of time for extensive color grading. So bearing all that in mind, if you look at this shot here, so this is just a very basic shot of a street in Oxford. But if we want to make these bicycles sort of pop more in the foreground, an easy way is go into Photoshop, and I would recommend designing yourself a few of these graduations. For example, I've got here black to dark grey, black to light grey, black to white, and then some coloured ones. And the reason I've developed these is they sort of work with lots of different applications. But taking this as an example, if we want to make this a bit more dramatic, my go-to one generally is the black to light grey. This seems to fit most of them. So if I drop that on to the timeline here, obviously at the moment you can see that this is completely obstructing the clip below. Change your blend mode to overlay. Now, this is very overcooked now. As you can see, the saturation's increased on this brickwork. However, what it has done has increased the contrast in the clouds. But because this is an image, you have control over every aspect of it, from animating it using keyframes to the opacity to the scale, everything. So if we just decrease the opacity a little smidge, roll it off a bit, as you can see, that's without. And then if we just bring it in a bit, it gives a nice effect. It's like we've dropped a variable or a graduated neutral density over when we shot the film, which of course we didn't. So that's nice. If we put it back up to 100%, the other thing, of course, is the scale. And the scale will increase the actual measurement, if you like, of the difference between the grey and the black. So it'll happen over a broader range of the actual image. So as you can see, it's again making that more subtle. If I bring it in, you can see what it's doing to the picture. So again, that's a nice effect. So if I toggle them on and off, you can see what it's done. And it's super, super quick. And what's particularly nice about it is it's so easy just to flip between and just check what you're doing. Now, one thing that's always a bit of a regret sometimes is if we're out and it's a beautiful blue sky, we've not put a polarizing filter on, yes, you can correct it in color grading, you can bring the blues out and everything, but this is super quick and easy. So if I turn this off and we go now to this scene here, which is a pretty boring scene, if I'm going to be honest, but what I've got is I've got the black to light grey here, and this is over the top, and all I'm going to do is now turn it on. So I've changed the mode, as you can see, to overlay, and if I put it on, straight away you can see you've now got that beautiful sort of travel program blue sky. And of course, you've got complete control over it. So it's entirely up to you how you use it. And you can see the difference it's making. It really does make the image pop. Again, this is a nice scene. This is in the Lake District. And it's just a pan across to this sort of red sign that looks quite dramatic, warning you of the low gear bit. So, I mean, arguably it's a pretty good scene, but if you do put on a graduation, all of a sudden you've got these very threatening clouds. And when it comes round to the sign just pops massively. And you need to correct a bit because you can see here these are blowing out. It's a nice effect. And again, if I toggle across, switching it on and off, you can see the difference it makes.